Hey peeps, our YouTube subscribers, gonna have some fun today. And
Yay!
I want to say hello to Erik again, and I love you so much. I miss you.
Oh, he says hi, Mama.
Yeah.
He just loves to be imitated. He
I
misses and
know.
loves you a lot.
All
And
right.
he's saying hi to everybody who's watching.
Okay. Now I know this is a very trivial subject, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Erik, tell us how we can find happiness and joy.
That's trivial.
Nah, just kidding. Being sarcastic.
He says, well, you might find it underneath your pillowcase.
But the tooth fairy leaves you something?
He goes, that tooth fairy never left me enough money. Hint, hint.
I know. Too late now. You don't have teeth.
How to find it? He's being funny and picking up his shirt and picking at his belly button. And he's talking quietly to his belly button like his happiness is stuck inside of his belly. Hey, belly, and happiness in there. He goes, really, it's inside of us. You forget how long his legs are. He doesn't always look lanky to me, but there's sometimes that he just looks like Bambi, where he has like the long arms and the long legs.
Oh, Bambi. You're so cute, Erik.
Sorry, Erik. Had to. But you could just see it when he was pulling his legs up. So he says happiness is inside of us, and that's where you're going to find it. You're not going to find it exterior, but our whole fucking culture tells us to look outside to find out who we are on the inside. And you can buy it here and you can buy it over there. And if you do this, you might find it. He goes, that's just a crock of shit. You know what? We've talked about this before, Mom. He goes, but I still get... He's up and pacing now. I still get really bothered by it. I think that every child, when they're born and they go off to school, that they need to learn nonviolent communication. They need to learn how to communicate with emotions and not logical thoughts.
I've read that book. I've read that book, Nonviolent Communication. I really recommend everybody read it. Okay, go on.
He says, me too. He goes, oh, I'm so happy that you like it. He really likes it. I need to read that book. Anyways, go ahead. As well as every kid needs to have their own life coach or therapist.
Wow.
And he goes, I'm not talking like major psychotherapy or psychology, just that kind of coach person that talks about how do they pay attention to themselves. Because a lot of times parents can't be there for them like that. Our culture has set up that the parents go to work now and that it's acceptable to put your child in groups, in teams and sports and music and this, and they're busy and they're busy and they're busy, and you're feeding them and they go to bed. And you don't get to have that single person that the child can report to, and the single person, like the therapist, life coach, can say, hey, did you remember how to feed yourself? And what did it feel good when you ate the pizza or the popcorn? Did it feel good when you had the apple? And getting them to really acknowledge the strengths in their physical body. Because these are the key elements of finding the happiness inside of us. And our culture doesn't provide that when we're younger. So when we get to adults, we know that there's a deep happiness somewhere, but we can't touch it. We can't reach it because we've been trained to look away from it. So I think we need to start young.
That sounds perfect, but not everybody. In fact, most people can't afford a life coach or some sort of therapist to help them find their own happiness.
Oh, he goes, we're talking about the adults now, right? Like,
well, no, I mean both. I mean, I think you said that every kid also should have a life coach.
Oh, yeah. He goes, I think it should be part of like the public school education system. He goes, that's my 2 cents. I know they have school counselors. He goes, but it's only the troubled kids who are sent there.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why can't the happy kids go there? It's so stupid. You're missing out on a great opportunity of laying anchors of thoughts and emotions somewhere and having a third person analysis so that you can be stronger on the inside. He goes, so if you can't do that for yourself because of lack of money or whatever of the excuse you want to provide, he just started laughing at himself. Because then, yeah, but how? He goes, then internet, YouTube, but that world is big, Erik, and you don't know what you're looking at sometimes. There are several places, even the Omega Institute. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Omega Institute that have free videos, he says. They have library of free interviews, videos. Sounds true?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds true? No, that's the company. Sounds true.
Okay.
That has a library of audio interviews. It has visual images as well. And these are approved people who are talking about these core values that I'm discussing now, like nonviolent communication, paying attention to how you feel, what's on the inside of you. These are free. You just have to dedicate it into your schedule to learning something. I think many people, once they don't have happiness and they know it exists but they can't touch it, use that poor me victim energy to help them survive in their life. Mm-hmm. And he said, so a lot of them don't know how to drop. Mm-hmm. He does it like he's dropping a mic. Mm-hmm. Don't know how to drop that kind of energy cycle to grab onto something new. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to present.
Are you talking about possessions?
No, that victim energy.
Okay, got it.
I'm struggling and, it's kind of hard. And people are like, oh, come here, baby. Give me a hug. Give me this. And he says, so they don't know how to drop that to learn or discover something new. So I'd like to present I'm going to do one new thing a week challenge. Drum roll. I don't have a drum roll. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-ting, whatever it is. Look at your calendar, pick a day, and write on there, do something new. And that something new will be to watch an interview, to listen to a podcast, because there's a lot of approved, very knowledgeable, good, grounded. And he says, if you're very, very religious in whatever realm, Unity, Presbyterian, Catholic, Judaism, I don't care. I think it's great for you, but I want you to find the lectures, teachers, podcasts that step out of your religion. Not into somebody else's, just kind of non-secular. Mm-hmm. And non-secular, because I don't want it to feed your belief system. I want it to feed you in a way that you can learn outside of what your comfort zone is. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not putting down your religion or anything. I'm just saying, hey, it's okay to accept the non-secular crew. Mm-hmm. They got something to say. Mm-hmm. It's totally teasing them. And put it on your calendar. Do something new. Yeah, you already said that. No, he just lost himself.
Okay, well, what about possessions, kids, and adults too? Just think a new cell phone's gonna make them feel better. A new computer. Erik, you did that a lot to find happiness.
Yeah. Yes, he did. Yes, I did. He goes, it's funny the way you started that off, Mom. It was like kids were the possessions.
Oh.
He goes, in some cases they are, right? If the marriage isn't happy, let's have another kid. Maybe that would bring us happiness. Mm-hmm. That would make us whole. Mm-hmm. He just goes, that ain't gonna work. You gotta be good with yourself. He goes, yeah, so people will look external and say, my business isn't working. It's obviously not me. It's because I don't have a better computer. Mm-hmm. And looking for the fault, looking for the fault to be in their world and not within themselves.
Oh.
For those people who do the possession thing, hoarding even, mm-hmm. He said,
gosh,
it's not about being right or wrong. And a lot of times it's an embarrassment to admit that you don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. He's talking about growing balls. It's okay to grow balls and just say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why the business isn't working. And then you go learn something new instead of buying the computer. But in the process of letting go of possessions, not reaching out for a possession to have fulfillment, like with food or things of that nature, you have to acknowledge how you're really feeling. You have to identify what the emotion is that is throwing you so violently out into your environment to grab onto other things. Some people can't do the identification, so you have to have a third party.
Right.
Most of the time, you can't find that on the podcast, the YouTube, the thing that I was talking about before. You're going to have a person in place. Okay. There are free counseling available for those who can't afford it. He says you just have to look into your community and what your city is providing for you. City. Anyways, then that person can help you identify how you're feeling. And then you go from there. What you're going to discover is that if you can identify how you're feeling and confess that you don't know how to manage it or you don't know the answer, then all of a sudden you gain a power and a confidence because you're working with being authentic and being honest.
Yeah, and that's really empowering. Yes. Be honest with yourself.
And all of a sudden you're not being thrown out into the environment to grab and grasp to cover yourself. Ding.
All right. Now, well, one thing about having life coach type thing with the counselors at school, what are you going to get rid of? There's no time for that. They've got so many activities in schools. What do? Give up PE? I guess you could do that, and parents can make the kids run around in circles in the cul-de-sac or whatever. But
he goes, "Damn, Mom, most people have given up on PE."
Yeah, I know. True.
He goes, "No, this should be a 1 time a week check-in, and that there's a handful of life coach, real grounded people who are helping the child learn about themselves, and they meet for 30 minutes a week."
That sounds great.
This isn't a hourly class every day. This is an individual check-in. So the class regimen stays the same. It's just they miss 30 minutes of whatever particular class it is that day.
So, sorry, PE teachers. No, I'm not saying PE is bad. Okay, ding. Now,
ding.
I want to ask, even though this has nothing to do with it, I'm going to ask Erik if you can bring in Kayla Mueller, the one who was killed by the ISIS terrorist.
He said yes.
Okay. Kayla, how are you doing, sweetie?
The voice is coming from behind me. She said fine. I don't see her, though.
She's sneaking up behind you.
Yeah, I can just... it's weird. I hear her here. She says hello. And she says hello to everyone. She understands exactly what this is.
Okay.
She liked her computer, too.
How are you? Yeah. How are you treated? I'm not when they killed you, but before that.
She says, not as respectfully as one would hope for, but you could say that all my fundamental needs were given to me, even if they were not. I don't understand that. Oh, I want to see her.
Maybe she's shy.
Really nice voice. But it wasn't she'll give me images. If we see a toilet, it would be more public, it's not as private. There's things like that. It wasn't like she was in a nice room.
Okay.
The strongest memory she has is the smell of it.
Oh boy. So were there any spiritual contracts you had for either for yourself or for captors or for the world?
She says everybody is going to find their moment of struggle in their life where they have to come where they have to come to self-reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested in anyone feeling sorry for me
Mm-hmm.
or measuring their struggles against mine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't wish my experience upon anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But I would want, it's kind of easier when you can see, you can look at somebody's
Oh, yeah.
mouth and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
but I would want other people to hear my story, to read my story, and see my strengths.
Mm-hmm.
They're just talking about many days of being in fear. Because of not knowing, of being told one thing and something else would happen.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no trust, there was no camaraderie. It was all very mental games.
Mm-hmm.
There was no comfort. I had to find a strength and a comfort within myself. For that, she's very proud of herself. This,
Yeah.
even it sounds a bit joyful in her words to be able to say that she found it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Help her out and ask another question.
Okay. Did you forgive your? Well, you didn't really talk about a spiritual contract. Were there any? I mean, we sort of got off topic. It seemed like. Was there something you were supposed to learn for yourself, teach to somebody else, teach the masses?
She was told she was being used as a sacrificial lamb.
Mm.
To be shown a point, to be proven a point.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was being told to her by the people around her, the real people.
Right.
Erik is asking her again to talk about her contract.
Mm-hmm.
So you can hear him going back and forth. He's like, the purpose, maybe kind of why this experience happened to you and not to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she gets the question. She's talking about her soul being able to handle the suffering that was handed to her.
Mm-hmm.
Erik is still coaching her, asking her more of, was there a bigger message? And she doesn't really find that. She still just sees herself as being Kayla.
She may get that later. Do you have any? Well, have you forgiven your captors and executioner?
She said yes.
Mm. Do you have any message for them?
Her first words were, "You did not kill me. You set me free."
Wow. Why won't you get in front of Jamie, Kayla? Do you not want to get near Erik?
Erik has left too. He's somewhere.
Okay.
No, did she I'm so sorry for not knowing this. Did she recently pass?
Uh-huh. Yeah, in the last 2 or 3 days. You think that's it, Kayla?
Yeah, I don't think there's a full transition here. She's still doing some things or communication. That's probably why she just still sees her as being wonderful Kayla. I don't think she knows the big grand picture yet.
Okay. All right. You will in time. Any messages for friends and family?
I love everyone. I love She says, I love you all, and that I'm okay. You'll never have to worry about me again.
Anything else?
It was a long time that they worried about her.
Yeah, it was. I don't know, I can't remember, maybe a couple of years, a year, 2 years. Do you blame the government for not? I understand that they had intelligence that was quote unquote perishable, which means you better act on it now. But the administration decided not to because they felt like they needed more evidence, more intelligence.
There were other things at play that they couldn't discuss.
Mm.
And so she's not angry at the government.
Mm-hmm.
She would have wanted them to work faster.
Yeah.
But then again, she goes, I think time just stood still for me for that long.
Yeah. So I know you're not the kind of person who would blame, but do you feel like the government was in some part responsible for your death?
Like the United States government?
Mm-hmm. Because of what we just talked about?
She's not saying yes at all, but when you talk about the word blame, she really holds the, is it ISIS group?
Mm-hmm.
That's the blame.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sour point. That's the thing that was misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
She knows a lot more than what's being said in her story.
Maybe she
She
can.
understands why she wasn't just picked up and whisked away.
Mm.
That wasn't held from her.
Okay.
She understands why it happened this way. So there's not confusion or anger wrapped around that at all.
Okay. Well, do you think that you would still be alive had it not been for our government not coming in sooner to rescue you? Or not trying harder? Okay. Okay.
She does
Now,
not. She still feels that she would be used as that kind of sacrificial lamb.
okay.
Apparently she's young, kind of innocent, had nothing to offer. Nothing. That's why she keeps calling it this sacrificial lamb.
Okay.
And that was the term apparently they would use to her to taunt her.
Okay. All right, so where do you see terrorism going, and what are the solutions? What's it's going to grow into, and what can we do? I mean, maybe from your point now, in your dimension, you certainly can have some sort of perspective that we can't have, that we don't have.
All I can hear is growing to better communication.
Okay. That's the solution. Can you be more specific?
You can hear Erik talking about the question, saying it in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
She says all the goodness that comes from terrorism is creating stronger communities and better communication. And she says that's what she's looking forward to. It's not about creating more war and more death. She doesn't want that in her name or associated to her.
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely not who she was.
You mean communities? What do you mean by communities?
People getting together and rallying against that which doesn't work.
So what people? Muslims, Americans as a whole, other people in the Middle East?
All kinds. It looks worldwide. It doesn't even look like it's just here.
Well, how bad does it have to get before we come to that sense of community?
Bad does it have to get? She says it's already gotten bad.
Yeah, tell me about it. Will it get a lot worse before it gets better?
I'm sorry, I have no idea what you just said. I'm trying to look at a picture, and how she's showing it to me is that when what we call something terrible, a shooting, murder, something of that nature happens, it affects, maybe one incident happens,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll maybe get 3 positive groups, stronger communicational qualities,
Okay.
but it doesn't seem to tumble and create more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
It's like a small spark of things happen.
That doesn't
So
turn
with
into a flame.
one terrorist act at a time, or one war at a time, it will create more positive. So we're growing to be better as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
but we still have these, what do you want me to call them? Silence on my end. We still have these moments that we don't
Okay. All right. So will we be attacked on our homeland in America? It's sort of a 9/11 thing.
All I hear her say is, all of it is our homeland.
Well, that's true.
Um,
So you don't know? You might not know.
no, she doesn't. She doesn't give specifics of attacks of anywhere else, but she says we need to stop seeing territories. Like she puts X's over the eyes.
Okay.
Stop seeing territory. All of it is our land. All of it
Yeah.
is our land.
The whole world.
Yes, the whole world.
Okay. Now, one more question I want to ask. I think it's the last question. Can you tell me, and can you share with us another life that sort of influenced your life as Kayla?
You can hear Erik talking to her. I don't think she doesn't have all this together yet.
Yeah, well, it's been so recently.
It's not sitting in the
Okay. All right.
in her
But,
head. She doesn't know it.
but you're under the care of friends and deceased loved ones, I take it. You're in good hands. You're happy there.
She's with everyone she knows, and then some.
Okay. All right.
You hear her laugh at the end of that.
Have you gotten a chance to visit your family?
That's what she's been doing.
Okay.
She has to. Something has to be completed. I don't know if she's waiting for her ceremony or
Yeah.
of life or what's happening, but she's just not all the way what we would call transitioned or crossed
Okay.
over.
All right. All right. Well, I want to tell you, I really respect you. You seem to have been and still are a very deep and good person.
She said, thank you.
It looks like you rose above what happened to you.
She said, yes, I had a lot of time to learn how to do that.
Yeah, you sure did. Any final messages?
She just said thank you and to take care.
You too. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye, Kayla. Thank you for coming.
I think she's already gone.
She left. She's skedoodled out of there. All right, now, I hope you guys like this video. If you do, please like it and subscribe to the channel because we've got some good stuff going down. We're going to continue interviewing notable figures, but we're going to do it on the blog. So I really, really suggest that you visit the blog, www.channelingerik.com, Erik with a K. And we've already interviewed lots of them. You can search for a celebrity or a notable figure that you like and check it out. And Jamie, tell us about you. Tell us about.
Oh gosh, if you want to know more about me, you can head over to withloveandlight.com or just type in Jamie Butler Medium. Erik was remembering oh my God, I almost called her Diana Ross.
Princess Diana?
Thank you. Well, what's her last name? Why can't I remember that? Princess Diana.
I think
her
first name must be Princess and her last name must be Diana.
How she danced with him.
Oh yes, I remember that.
In the interview, you were like, Erik, is there something? He was like, I want to dance. It was like, what?
Like he could dance. Like you probably stumbled over your 2 feet.
He's crouching in. He loves you so much. I love you, Mom. I love everybody, he says.
I love you too. By the way, you guys, I talk to Erik a lot, have conversations with him in my last book, My Son and the Afterlife, Conversations from the Other Side. So check it out. If you can't afford it, it's probably in a lot of the libraries. Otherwise, it's available, everywhere pretty much.
Yay!
All right. Bye, Jamie.
Bye. Have
See
a
you
great
later,
day.
alligator. Bye, Erik. I love you.
He says bye.